Welcome back inside the CEC TV studios as Trailblazer Weekly marches on. The football team is fresh off its first winning season of the Division II era, and today, head coach Shay McClure joins the show to help us break it all down. Coach, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Kerry.
The season's over, but the busy season certainly is still upon us with recruiting and whatnot, so we appreciate you squeezing in some time for us here on Trailblazer Weekly to help us break down what was really an amazing season for your football team. As we think back, it's been almost exactly a year to the day, just a couple weeks away since you were named and introduced as the head coach at the press conference. Now 12 months later, you're fresh off the program's first winning season. This is after you were introduced and said you wanted to help build this program back to where it used to be. Describe how these last 12 months have been for you. I'm sure it's been a little bit of a whirlwind. I'm sure it's seemed like time has been flying, and here we are sitting with a winning record.
Yeah, I know, it's interesting. You talk to people and you start talking to recruits in the last couple months now and letting them know, what we've done and the things that have transpired over that time period, with the rebranding and the new facilities and, the ability for us to go out and compete and, all the new people that have joined the program as far as players and coaches are both concerned. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's gone on in the last 12 months, that's for darn sure.
And what's the feeling around the program? I know I'm really excited about the season that has just transpired. I know there was a couple wins there, a couple of games you feel like you probably could and should have had early in the season. But overall, I mean, the feeling's got to be one of just you're taking those steps, got to be excited about how this season went.
Yeah, and again, as a coach, you're never satisfied, and again, I told somebody this the other day that, if we won the national championship this year, I would have been satisfied for about 5 minutes and then wanted to go win another one. So, we did accomplish some things that I think we had set out to do, had reached some goals that maybe internally we had set for ourselves. Were we satisfied as a coaching staff? Probably not, but again, we're not as patient as maybe others. This business kind of breeds that, and so, I am proud of the boys for doing what they've done. Really, really excited about the future, and so again, as I look back, those are the things that really excite me, not what we accomplished this year, but the steps I saw that we took to accomplishing what I know we want to do in the coming years.
Certainly. As we are breaking down the season, let's look at this season. You get that first win over Highlands and then drop the next three, so you're at 1-3. And you come back on October 1st and you get the win over Western State, which turned out to be a really good win. Not that we didn't know that at the time, but Western State finished the season with a pretty good record, 7-4 in conference play. From my perspective, as the play-by-play announcer, kind of, I don't want to say an outsider, kind of looking in, meaning I'm not inside all the closed-door meetings, that seemed kind of like a turning point in the season. Something seemed to flip at that point. How big was that Western State win in terms of momentum for the rest of the year?
Just like you looking back on it, it was big for us. And we did win game one, and then, losing Tyson, our starting quarterback, game two right after halftime, I think it was, or maybe right before halftime, and, throwing Josh to the Wolves because Blake was also out. And, so again, I mean, you're on your four-string quarterback in 2 games, and you're like, oh shoot, what's going to happen here? And again, Josh really stepped up, but I mean, you throw a wolf to the fire, and I think that first game he came in against South Dakota Mines, and really did give us a chance to win. The last interception wasn't his fault, and those things happened. But now it was kind of like, okay, I'm off the bench. Okay, let's go. He didn't have time to think about it. Well, now the next 2 weeks, okay, I'm the starting quarterback at what, and so again, I think, for us to go beat a Western team who, like you said, was talented, I think this was probably their most talented team in a long time. Austin Eckler, who may be one of the better tailbacks I've seen at this level, really did change who we were. Now, I'll say this, I don't think our kids ever lost any confidence or were really down on themselves even through the 3-game losing streak. I always felt a sense of purpose. They came to work every day. And so, I don't think we as coaches were nervous about it, but it was nice for them, and I think gave them some self-confidence to get over the hump a little bit and beat a good football team, in Western State.
Of course, the next week went to Nebraska, the first trip to Chadron, and a dominating victory there. And then 2 weeks after that Western State victory, you go to Grand Junction, you march into their place, you spot them a 17-0 lead, and then next thing you know, the running attack just comes alive. You win it 38-31 for the first victory in the Division II era over a ranked opponent. You had it back to a 3-point game at halftime, 17-14. The momentum had already swung. But after spotting them, the 3-score lead, what was the message to the team at that point?
You know, and we went out and again did spot them 17 before I think we even truly got every kid off the bus, and so it was like, oh my gosh. And you've been there as a coach, as a coach, you've been in those situations where it's just one of those nights, and I honestly at that point was like, this could be one of those nights, this could be a 52-7, just we didn't show up type of football game. And the kids battled back, and like you said, I mean, our running game was solid all year, and Mesa, honestly struggles defensively in the run game, so it kind of was a good matchup for us. And so we were able to take advantage of it. I think their first touchdown came on a pick, that we threw. So, defensively, we held them to a field goal to make it 17. And then it was go time, and we just started pounding the ball. The defense settled down, made a couple plays here and there. Ty Neal made a couple plays here and there. And then right at the end of the half, like you said, we had gotten it to 3. They had a field goal, to make it 6, and they missed that field goal right at the end of the half. And we went into the locker room, and again, I think the guys truly believed and had self-confidence that we could come out. And, we came out the first play to start the second half, and Josh goes, whatever it was, 92, 97, KOR, for 7 points, and really generated a ton of enthusiasm in our group. And I, you know how kids are. I mean, they were just, okay, it's go time, and responded well.
You spent a good chunk of time on the road the last few weeks of the season, including 3 of 4 at one point. You were able to close out the season at home and to clinch the first winning season in the D2 era at home with a tough win over Fort Lewis. The defense really stepped up second half, didn't score in the second half, but hey, you got the win, and it's really all that mattered. How nice was it for you as a coaching staff, and then for the players to be able to be at home, somewhat close to home for those players from California, family could come up. How nice was it to be able to clinch that winning season out?
It's always nice to play at home. I don't care if it's the first game, last game, ninth game, it doesn't matter. It's always nice to play, there at our place and have the fans behind us. And like you said, it's all to end the season where, especially for the seniors, last game, truly their last game, and have family there and they're supporting them. And we talked about it all week and talked about it with the players all week, is they truly did have an opportunity to do something that no one had ever done at Dixie State, and it's something that could never be taken away from them. And we truly sold that to our kids all week long, because last game of the year, we're not going to the national playoffs. That's already been determined. And so sometimes it's kind of like, okay, what are we playing for? And our kids did have something to play for, as did our opponent in Fort Lewis, because I'll tell you what, they did a great job up there as well. Their coaching staff, I know those guys, and they did a really nice job with some limited talent, but they played hard, and it was a great football game, and we were fortunate to come out on top. And again, to provide our kids, and as I keep talking about, though, building towards the future, guys, if you listen to us, if you believe in what we're telling you, if you believe in where this program's going, this is what's going to happen. Well, there was some real clarification of, oh, okay, yeah, they're right. If we do these things, we can be a good football team. So it's always nice to finish that way.
Leading right into that, this season then ended 13 All-RMAC selections, matching a program best mark for your team, including the 2 Freshman of the Year honors in Clifford and Jalen. This entire team really gave their all this year, and it was great to see the conference take notice as well. Obviously, 13 wasn't the most All-RMAC selections in the conference, but it certainly wasn't even close to the least, and it's good to see the conference kind of showing your team the respect that they deserve this year.
Sure, and I talked to each head coach before the game, and we kind of talk about each other and what you see on film and those type of things, and every coach was very praising of our young men in the way that they play, you know, and maybe they weren't the best player, maybe they weren't all conference first team, second team, but they played hard. And that's the thing I heard from opposing coaches. And that's really, as a coach, you're proud of that, because they know on film, they watch you and they go, gosh darn it, these kids play hard. They may not be the most talented, but they play hard. And as a coach, you're proud of that.
Well, Coach, congratulations on an awesome season, an outstanding season. Just hearing you talk about the future, it gets me excited. Wish football season was back here already, but I guess we have to wait 9 months for that to happen.
Yeah,
but,
I'm ready to start again too.
But there's a lot of recruiting and things to be done before then, so we'll let you take care of all that and look forward to next September when it all starts again. But thanks for stopping by today. Before we let you go, we've got our Trailblazer Weekly hard hat that all of our guests sign here on the show, so we'll hand you that marker right there. Pick a spot and sign it and mark what sport you're from. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to chat with us. While he's signing the hat, I'll let you know it's time for our next break. When we come back, we'll take a look ahead at the next week in Dixie State Athletics, as well as hear from men's basketball junior Trevor Hill in our player profile feature. We'll be right back.